Hi everyone, and welcome to my PS5 mod load order for Skyrim. I'm going to show you a couple clips just to give you a general feel of what my Skyrim looks like, and if you like it, then maybe stick around for the full list. Hi, here we are back at the top of my load order. I just want to start off by saying this load order I made only adds mods I found to increase my immersion in Skyrim. I have one cheat mod and that's it. Most of the mods I have just improve on things already in the game or fix game rules I found odd or unfun. So starting at number 1, we have the unofficial Skyrim special edit patch. I think everyone should have this, and it should be at the top of your load order, unless you have mods that are master files and would override that. But second coming in is a master file mod. I have Aladon's Ultimate Armory. It's the one cheap mod I have, and it is if I get bored of being super serious all the time, or I don't feel like grinding boring skill all the way up to 100. Lore-based loading screens just adds 160 plus new loading screens to the game. If you're tired of seeing the same ones over and over again, this one's for you. Character editor all in one pack. This is going to unlock some previous locked customization features for character races. So like you could get horns on a human now, and like you could go as like a half Dremora, half human type playthrough or something like that if you want to. That's actually what I'm doing right now, and I think he looks super badass. So next we're going into the animation rings, and I think these are actually super cool, so I'm just going to show you what they look like. You can find all the animation rings in a box in Farengar's room underneath his bed. There are going to be a bunch of animation rings that I'll let you do pretty much any animation in the game. Here I am being a waste case in the Jarl's main hall because this is something I've always dreamed to do. You can also wave. You can do things like you can hug people now. I mean, I'm gonna go hug Grumpy Irileth and make her entire day, I'm sure. So here we are back at my load order. Next, I have my 3 armor mods. I just want to keep it, I don't want to overclutter the game with too many armor mods and stuff like that. So these are the 3 that I picked out, and I'm just gonna show you a couple clips from them because I think it's just better to show you. So this mod does exactly what it says it does. It adds helmets with hooded side capes into the game. It's located inside a chest inside Riverwood, and I think it covers all the helmets in the game. If I use a helmet, it's one of these. The next armor mod I have installed adds 3 new classes to the game, basically in the form of craftable armors and weapons. You could be either looking like a badass paladin, a mercenary, which is personally my favorite, and I actually played a playthrough wearing the entire set. And you could also be a ranger, which is also really cool. And I think this just adds a lot of variety, but without taking away from too much of the vanilla feel of the game. I feel like all the armor just already kind of belongs there, and some of them look really cool. So the next armor mod I have installed actually isn't for me. It changes all of the guards' armor in respect to whatever hold they're in. I think it breaks the immersion in the game when every single soldier looks exactly the same all throughout Skyrim, and it can get a little tasteless. And I think all of these look great, and they're lore friendly too. And you can also craft them all in the miscellaneous again. And we just went through these 3 if you're confused. And we're moving on to Light and Dark Magic, which is the only magic mod that I have in this load order. If you like, there's lots of good magic mods out there that add like 400 something spells to the game. I think it's just a bit too much, and it kind of clutters the, spell books in the game, and I think that some of them actually don't make sense, or some of them just kind of take me out of the immersion that I was looking for. And this one's just really simple and adds like 2 classes that feel like they should already been in the game, like Light and Dark Magic, and they look really nice and they scale really well. Next we have wear multiple rings, because I think it just makes sense to be able to wear 10 rings. It's not like I go running around with 10, but along with the animation rings, I use these because sometimes I want to wear more than one. Next, we have the change magic hit effect, which is actually really interesting. It's like, I always had this feeling in Skyrim where I like to burn shit, but it doesn't stay burning. With this, if you use a frost spell, it's going to like stay frosty, or it's going to stay like on fire for at least, I think, 3 seconds after, or if a dragon comes, it'll be like 5 seconds, his breath will stay on the field. And I just think it adds a nice little touch to the game. After that, we have marry almost anyone, because I think it makes sense to be able to if I'm going for immersion. I haven't found that special someone yet, but when I do, I know that they'll be available. Playable survival. I do play with survival mode in my mod load order, or I mean in my game with from the Creation Club. However, I think that it's really annoying and it's kind of a hindrance and isn't actually much fun to use, because some of the rules are a little bit too strict and I'm always hungry and the food's not worth enough points. So this actually lets you change all of these settings for survival mode in the game, and I just think it's a really, really amazing mod. It's actually my favorite mod. Before I used to switch my survival mode on and off all the time because I get annoyed. I don't anymore. Better vanilla perks is just, I've seen some mods out there, sorry, and I think that some of them are just a little bit too much. So this one, I know we don't have Ordinator on here, which sucks, but I think this one actually just gives that perk tree the little bit of oomph it needed, and it scales, I think the game scales so much nicer now, and I really just like it. I think it's just a really nice perk mod. And Vampire Lord perks mod, because I think the perks trees in the game are a little dry, and I was thinking about being a vampire this time, this playthrough. Next we have Well Tamed Horse, which is the best horse mod in the game by far. It's gonna let you call your horse with a Nord horn, and then it'll run up to you. It's just it allows your followers to use horses now and like follow behind you with horses. It's just the most superior horse mod on the PlayStation, I promise you. It's better than Better Horses. No diss to that mod, it's a great mod too. I just think that this one is just spectacular. Now, enhanced draw distance is just gonna let things in the background load a little nicer, and that's pretty much it. Since we have a PS5, why not use that power a little bit? Moving on to the weather mods, this is my weathers and lighting mod. I think everyone should have one in their game. This is the one that I picked after using them all, and I just think it makes the game look really nice. The rain is not like lines anymore, it's actually raindrops, and that in conjunction with rain and snow effects is really nice. I'm going to show you what rain and snow effects looks like, because I think I should probably just show you, not be lazy. But yeah, Dolomite, Weathers, and Lighting. It's really nice mod. More Blood and Gore, just because I think for my immersion, it's just really nice to slice people up and see them gushing out blood. I guess that was a little fucked, but I'm just being honest here, folks. And yeah, I'm going to show you a couple clips from Rain and Snow effects, and then I'm going to show you a couple clips from Skyrim is Windy too, because it makes the game from plants and trees not moving to actually swaying in the wind, and it looks so good. So I'm going to show you Rain and Snow effects in this one, and then yeah, we'll hop back to the list. So rain and snow effects. Starting off, I'm showing you the rain effects. It adds nice little water droplets when it's raining that just slip and slide off the character like it actually would. And your character's gonna like get a little bit damper, like a little bit. His clothes are gonna look a little bit darker when he comes out the water, like he was just soaked. And this is what the snow effects look like. It just goes really nice with the weather mod I have. And when you're up in the frosty mountains and your character's all frosted over, it looks really cool. Next, I tried to get a video showcasing the Skyrim's Windy mod. It changes all the plant life in the game to sway in the wind like you see now. It's really nice with my Forest of Skyrim mod I have coming up in my dense grass because it just makes everything look stunning. So next we have Luminosity Lighting Overhaul, which is going to work in conjunction with Dolomite Weathers and Lighting. This changes the exterior lighting and this changes the interior lighting. So things like caves and inside houses are going to draw more light from heat sources like fireplaces and torches, and it's just going to give it so much more of a nice vibe. Like the lighting will come from heat sources and stuff. So if you go into like Dragon Reach, all the light's going to come from that big fireplace in the middle, and you know the outskirts of the building or like the corners are going to be nice and dark and shadowy, and it's just, it's actually really amazing what some of these modders have done with the limitations on the PS4. And Luminous Atronox is just going to make all the Atronox in the game emit light, which they didn't before. And I think you can see the details better on them than you could before, and it would make sense for like a fire Atronox to emit light in a dark cave. Various dragons is going to change, mess with the textures of the dragons to give you a bunch of different looking dragons basically. Instead of seeing the same old dragon every single time, same blood dragon, it adds like mixing with the colors and the different variants in between them. I think that there's 784 different dragons you can actually see, and I mean, if you're going to be playing a long playthrough, and you will, if without this mod, you'll be seeing the same dragon every time. So yeah, kudos to this guy for making this. I have no idea how he did, but he did an amazing job. Improved bandits. Bandits, so to start off explaining this, I'm just going to say bandits at the start of the game, they have no armor. So their armor rating is basically their health, and they have like 600 of it. So it makes no sense to start off swinging at a bandit who eats like 10 hits when he has no armor and he's like level 5. So this is going to mess with the scaling and combat of the bandits, but don't worry, it's not going to mess with better combat AI. I made sure they work together. But this is just going to basically add armor to all of the bandits in the game. So like before, they wouldn't really be wearing anything. And now, like besides fur and some shitty leather armor, now they'll be wearing like all the way up to Elven. And I think even maybe some Dwarven armor. So they're not going to have like overpowered Daedric armor, which would make sense for bandits. But yeah, it's just, I think every time I run into bandits now, I really notice this change, and I just think it's really cool. Better combat AI is just going to fix the combat in the game. It's going to mess with NPC combat to do a variety of different things, like it says there. They're going to use more skills and techniques and strategies. Dragons has better, it's much better fighting dragons with this now. Their eyes revamped too. Wolves will like even circle you in the wild before they attack, like actual wolves would do. It's a really cool mod too. Immersive movement, that's gonna make like everything in the game where like animals were too slow before or something, and humans are too quick. You whip around the map like you're some kind of action camera. But this is gonna, yeah, like slow down humans, increase animal movement. It's going to take away your backpedaling speed because before it was the same as if you're full tilt walking forward, which makes no sense. I think it even changes if you have a heavy weapon, it's going to slow you down as compared to a light weapon, which is really cool. I really like this. And it changes the combat immensely because when they swing a big weapon now, there's a couple seconds where you can go in and attack without just having to shield bash your opponent all the way. You actually have openings. And it's really nice. Juliha's Dirt Replacer, there's pathways all throughout Skyrim. I know you've seen them a bunch of times. This person took the time to change all of the dirt textures in Skyrim to give them more of like a less tended to feel, like nature's kind of taken over a little bit, because if you think about it, back in the day, all of the roads wouldn't be perfectly paved out. And this is an awesome mod. Thank you for making this, Juliha. Bridges of Skyrim is going to change bridges like they're made from an architect of that region. All the bridges are going to make sense to whatever region they're in, and they're all changed. I passed up on this so many times, but now every time I see a bridge, I stop and study it for like at least a good 20 seconds, and I love bridges now. Dense grass is going to work well with my Windy Skyrim mod along with Forest of Skyrim, which these two are just going to add lots of trees to places that would make sense. and lots of grass to places that would make sense, like where it belongs. I think that Skyrim was kind of patchy and skimpy in their grass and forest before, and this is just fills it in and nice. Fallen Tree Bridges adds a bunch of fallen trees in the wild that go over like nice waterfalls and like areas that would make sense. It adds a really nice one on top of High Hrothgar when you're walking up there, and all of them just feel like so. It almost feels like, I don't know, man, mythical when you come across some of these giant trees over your head, or as you see some of them across these landscapes that are really nice. So next we have Point the Way, which is going to add signposts around Skyrim. There already was signposts on the major roads and pathways, but some of them actually pointed you in the wrong direction and stuff. So this one just adds some new ones as well as fixes some old ones, and just it's a little detail, but it goes a long way with the next mod I have here, which is Lanterns of Skyrim. This mod is really nice because it puts lanterns all around the pathways and roads of Skyrim. But with my weather and lighting mod, it makes the nighttime really dark. And the lighting mod actually draws more light from heat sources. So with these lampposts all around the nighttime, all around the pathways of Skyrim, when you're walking around and traveling through the night, it looks amazing, and it brings just a certain warmth that I can describe. It's such a change just adding simple lanterns could make, and I just can't believe the difference it makes. And it's really nice with my Point the Way and the Yuli Haas dirt replacer. They just completely transform the roads. Nordic Ruins fixes up some of the Nordic ruins that were maybe a little underwhelming before, kind of broken down, and they're all like kind of little art pieces now, and I stopped and look at all of them. After the summit, have you ever been stuck spam jumping up a mountain before because what you needed is directly across one of the biggest mountains in the game and you don't feel like going all the way around? Well, this adds convenient little pathways along some of the bigger mountains in the game, and just opens up a lot of diverse travel options for you if you're playing survival mode like me and you're not fast traveling everywhere. Khajiit Caravan Kittens adds new Khajiit NPCs to the caravans. I think that the caravans before were a little lacking, and I never actually stopped at them. These kids, just like they're voice acted, and you know what, they bring some life to the caravans, as well as they decorate the tents and really fill them out nicely to make it look like they're actually traveling caravans, as before they were just empty. But they sell really useful items in the game now, like stuff for your hearth fire, and they'll sell like a Daedra heart every now and then, and they're just really cool, and I think they fit in the game really nicely. Now these are the one thing I want to say is I don't have immersive citizens in this game. I really wish I could. However, it's not going to work with my town mod overhauls that I have because it changes the pathways. So some of the NPCs are going to get stuck and etc. But with their new pathways in. But these, I find I don't really want to look at the same towns and cities anymore in the game. I've played it so many times. These ones all just are really nice. They don't completely overhaul the town as to where you can't tell that it's that town anymore. However, they just fill it in a lot nicely, really nicely, and don't take away from what the town was supposed to originally be. You can put in any town mod overhauls that you want. These are just the ones that I rock with, and I showed you a couple clips of what they look like before. I think Dawnstar is the one that is going to change everything a little bit to the most, but I just think that Soldier of War really hit the head on the hammer with this one, and Dawnstar just looks amazing. So here we are with go away map clouds. It's just going to get rid of some of those thick, heavy rolling clouds that would sometimes block your total view of the map. So here I am showcasing my water mod. It's going to change all the water in the game, and it's going to update the physics of it so that it flows properly like it should. Like here I got a nice clip of it flowing through two different canalways. You see how the water, it actually splits into the two different entryways now, which is really cool. So here we are back in my mod load order, and don't fret, I know you've been listening to me talk for a long time, but we're almost done, I promise. So Fast alternate start is going to breathe some much needed new life into a new playthrough. It's going to make it so you don't have to watch that cutscene that you've seen a million times again, and you can kind of create your own backstory for your character right at the start of the game, and it just kind of really throws you in immersion right at the start. Um, Start owning a tavern as a vampire, or even join one of the factions in the game. Now there's a huge mod like lightly populated settlements, just like this one, but it that changes a bunch of different like game mechanics, and unfortunately doesn't work with all of the other mods I have. So what this one does is it just adds NPCs into the towns and cities to breathe life into them. They'll have their own, pathways to daily activities, so it would make sense, and it just gives the cities and towns some life that I think that they needed. Guard dialogue overhaul is going to unlock some previously locked guard dialogue that was locked by the developers for some reason, even though like some of the stuff that they say is really cool and makes sense. So instead of hearing the same 5 things from a guard in the city, you're going to hear stuff that only makes sense. So like it'll scale with how you progress in the game. They'll start to respect you more towards the end of your playthrough, and it's just a really nice addition to the game. Great idea for mod, man. Immersive patrols adds patrols coming in and out of each respective hold. So like Dawn Guard will have Dawn Guard patrols coming out, etc. If you take over a city with a new faction, that new faction guards will be implemented as the new patrols, walking out of the patrolling the pathways outside of that specific town, city, or hold. So it's really nice, along with this mod which I have that adds like major battles along the borders of Skyrim. So it acts like Skyrim's actually in a war. So say neighboring provinces that are in conflict, like one's held by Stormcloaks, the other one's held by Imperials, you will now find like spies trying to spies of the other hold trying to get in, sneak across the other province's border, and you'll see like big wars along the province's border of conflicting provinces. So it just really fills up the random encounters in the game, which I think Skyrim was kind of lacking in, and it's really nice. Haste is my favorite mod in the game. It makes it so it does a lot of things. So it makes it so that animals can't report crimes, which is really stupid. It's gonna up the cost of inns from like 10 gold to 45. So if you're playing survival like me at the start, it's kind of it's a little bit more, challenging to actually rest up, which is, I think it's really nice, because I think it would make sense that some of these places charge a little higher in some of the remote places that they're at, not just 10 gold. So last but not least, we have Skyrim at 90 FOV/60 FPS, which is a combo between the FOV mods and the 60 FPS mod. Since we are on a PS5, we're going to want to use the power a little bit and run it at 60 FPS because we can. If you're running at a PS4, I would not recommend you use this, but I just think that the 90 FOV as well is the best field of view to play Skyrim at, so I just have this mod because they are all in one nice little package. And once again, I don't have Immersive Citizens. It's an amazing mod, but I don't have it because it's not really compatible with mods that change the layout and stuff of cities, so they might get stuck on a rock that was put in from my overhaul that wasn't there before, and might get in their path or something. But I think all my mods are actually compatible with this, except for the Dawnstar mod I have, because that's the one that changes the town the most drastically. All the other ones are pretty much just like, the changes aren't really too drastic. It's just filling the town in really nicely. But the Dawnstar one I has is pretty beefy. So if you want to take off Dawnstar, I'm pretty sure that this one probably would work with all the other mod overhauls that I have. And I can't believe we made it here. Sorry you had to listen to me go on and on and on and on for this whole video. I've remade this video 3 times. I posted it, deleted it because I made it in one day, and then I was like, I can make it better because someone actually commented and liked on it, and I was like, oh my god. So now I've made it again, and I've accidentally deleted this video while almost being done twice, and I'm so glad I'm finally done. But I've just got the news about the new Skyrim anniversary today, so they're putting out a version for the PS5, and it just really got me thinking about Skyrim, and I just wanted to finish up this video. So thank you guys for watching, and if you like any of the mods I have downloaded, go ahead and have a playthrough, because it makes for a really nice it's really nice for those who haven't played in a while, and it's gonna breathe some much needed new life into a new playthrough if you were craving one. So yeah, once again, thank you guys so much, and have a great day.